The two most harmful vitamins that weaken legs after age 60, and important foods for stronger, healthier muscles. You're losing strength in your legs, and you don't even know it. Does climbing stairs suddenly feel harder? Does it take you a few extra seconds to get up from a chair? Do your walks feel heavier and slower than before? And here's the strange part. You're eating healthy, exercising, and doing everything right. But what if the real reason isn't your age? What if certain foods you eat every single day are silently draining your strength? In this video, you'll discover the 7 essential vitamins that can help strengthen your legs and the hidden habits that may be making them weaker. Yes, while some vitamins truly power your muscles, others, when taken the wrong way, can slowly weaken them over time. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to fuel your legs for more power, stability, and pain-free movement, starting today. Sugary desserts and sweets. Desserts have long been associated with comfort and pleasure, but after the age of 60, this indulgence can quietly become an enemy to your leg health. Excessive refined sugar intake triggers inflammatory reactions throughout the body, especially in the muscles and joints. Chronic inflammation makes your legs more sensitive, uncomfortable, and prone to deterioration. Sugar is also directly linked to high insulin resistance, which drains energy from your muscles. Without enough energy, muscle fibers weaken and become less efficient. On top of that, excess sugar contributes to weight gain, and every extra pound puts more pressure on your leg muscles and joints. For older adults who naturally lose muscle mass with age, this is especially concerning. More weight means more strain, faster wear and tear, and a greater sense of discomfort and weakness. Sugar even increases the body's production of toxins, worsening inflammation further. And the more inflammation there is, the harder it becomes to keep your legs functional, stable, and strong. Did you know that sugar directly affects blood flow? When consumed in excess, it increases the risk of vascular disorders that restrict blood flow to the lower extremities. Poor circulation means your leg muscles receive less oxygen and nutrients. This hinders tissue regeneration and slows muscle recovery. The pleasure of a dessert can cost you dearly when it comes to your health. In addition to its metabolic consequences, sweets lack nutrients essential for muscle health, such as protein and magnesium. In other words, you are eating empty calories that weaken rather than strengthen your body. In old age, such an unbalanced diet leads to muscle mass loss, one of the main enemies of mobility. If you feel your legs are weaker, the reason could be as simple as a slice of cake or a piece of pie. What may seem like an innocent pleasure could actually be undermining your independence and strength. Most factory-made desserts also contain chemical additives, such as dyes and preservatives, that further worsen inflammation. These elements disrupt the body's natural balance, and when combined with sugar, directly affect the muscular system, creating a very harmful health combination. Replacing these desserts with natural alternatives, such as fruit with cinnamon, or less sugary homemade treats is a big step. Of course, you can still eat sweets just by making smarter choices that respect your body. Your legs and your taste buds will thank you. Fried foods. Fried foods may taste irresistible, but after 60, they can quietly sabotage your legs and mobility. Packed with trans and saturated fats, they fuel inflammation, targeting your muscles and joints, leaving your legs stiff, sore, and more prone to injury. The heavy oils in fried foods slow blood flow, starving your muscles of oxygen and nutrients. This poor circulation makes it harder for your body to repair and rebuild strength. Over time, clogged arteries from these unhealthy fats weaken your entire support system and speed up joint damage. Culprits like donuts, chicken nuggets, and French fries may look harmless on the plate, but they're quietly chipping away at your mobility. Ever notice your legs feeling heavy and achy after a fried food-filled meal? That's your body struggling to process the excess fats. Digestion hogs your energy, leaving less fuel for your muscles, adding to fatigue. Regularly eating fried foods can also pack on pounds, putting extra strain on your knees, hips, and ankles. And here's the kicker. Fried foods are nutrient poor. They deliver almost no vitamins, minerals, or protein to strengthen your legs. Over time, this leads to muscle loss, reduced stability, and a greater risk of falls or injury. The fix is simple. Swap frying for baking, grilling, or air frying. Your legs and your long-term independence will thank you. White bread. White bread may be a classic breakfast item or a quick snack, but especially after the age of 60, it's far from harmless. Made from refined flour, most of its fiber and valuable nutrients are stripped away before it even reaches the oven. What's left is a rapidly absorbed carbohydrate that spikes your blood sugar. These sudden spikes directly affect leg muscle health, leading to fatigue and weakness. Over time, regular consumption can disrupt your metabolism. With a high glycemic index and very little fiber, white bread can also trigger insulin resistance. Without enough fiber, glucose can't enter muscle cells efficiently. That means less energy and strength for your daily activities. As your muscles get less fuel, keeping them strong becomes harder, and age-related muscle loss accelerates. In short, white bread isn't just empty calories, it's a habit that can slowly weigh down your muscles. On top of that, white bread is low in protein and minerals, so it does nothing to support muscle repair. As we age, we need more protein to protect against sarcopenia, muscle loss. Relying on white bread day after day doesn't fuel your muscles, it weakens them. The result? Legs that tire quickly, lose balance, and feel less stable. It's not just about a lack of nutrients. White bread, especially when paired with buttered cheese or jam, can also lead to weight gain. Excess weight puts extra strain on your legs, which are already more fragile with age. That means more pain, inflammation, and a higher risk of injury. Instead of supporting your mobility, it actually limits it. Those innocent bites add up over the years and take a real toll. The good news is there are much better and tastier alternatives. Whole grain breads, or those made with oats, flax seeds, or rye, especially when naturally fermented, are rich in fiber and nutrients. They support digestion, stabilize blood sugar, and indirectly strengthen your muscles. Paired with high-quality proteins like eggs or healthy fats like avocado, they create balanced meals that fuel your body and your legs. You don't have to give up bread completely. Just choose the right one. And remember, in this video, you'll also discover the 2 worst vitamins that could be weakening your legs. Alcohol. As we age, alcohol becomes far more harmful, especially when it comes to the muscles and joints in our legs. After 60, the body's ability to break down and process alcohol slows significantly, which magnifies its negative effects. One of the most damaging consequences is that alcohol interferes with the absorption of key minerals like calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D. Without these essentials, muscles lose their strength, bones become fragile, and the risk of fractures and falls rises sharply. Alcohol also disrupts the body's natural repair process for muscle tissue. This means after any physical activity, your body takes longer to recover, leaving you with lingering pain, fatigue, and a greater chance of injury. On top of that, alcohol dehydrates the body, reducing muscle flexibility and increasing the likelihood of uncomfortable leg cramps. Another hidden danger is its effect on liver function, which plays a critical role in producing the compounds that keep your tissues healthy. And let's not forget, alcoholic drinks are packed with calories, even in moderate amounts, fueling abdominal fat gain. This extra weight places added pressure on your legs and joints, limiting your mobility. Combined with the natural muscle loss that comes with age, this can create a dangerous downward spiral in both movement and overall quality of life. If you've ever woken up after drinking feeling more sore, stiff, and tired than usual, that's your muscles and joints reacting to the strain. Long-term use also fuels inflammation throughout the body, making discomfort worse and reducing the desire to stay active. Over time, this habit can seriously weaken your ability to remain strong, mobile, and independent. And in just a moment, I'll reveal the 2 vitamins that may secretly be draining the strength from your legs. Processed meats. Processed meats often sneak into people's daily routines because of their convenience. But in older age, they can quietly sabotage leg health in serious ways. Bacon, ham, and sausages are loaded with sodium and chemical preservatives that fuel chronic inflammation throughout the body. This inflammation doesn't just affect general health, It targets the joints and can create ongoing discomfort in the leg muscles, ankles, and knees. For some, that morning stiffness they feel upon waking may be directly linked to these foods. Another hidden drawback is their high saturated fat content. These fats restrict blood flow to the muscles, raise bad cholesterol, and impair circulation. Poor circulation means your leg muscles receive less oxygen and fewer nutrients, slowing repair and regeneration. Over time, this leads to a gradual weakening of the lower body, eventually making even basic daily activities more challenging. On top of that, these foods contribute to toxin buildup, placing added strain on the liver and kidneys, two organs essential for filtering the chemicals that, if left unchecked, can cause muscle fatigue. Studies also show that the preservatives in processed meats can interfere with glucose metabolism, reducing the energy available to your muscles. The result is a persistent heaviness and fatigue in the legs. While some older adults reach for these products out of habit or convenience, nutrition at this stage of life deserves extra attention. In the long run, convenience can come at the cost of independence. If you want to maintain muscle strength and protect your health, swap in cleaner protein sources like eggs, chicken, fish, and lean cuts of red meat. Even small changes make a big difference. Replace bacon with avocado or olive oil, trade sausages for cooked eggs, and swap ham for chicken breast. Your body will adapt quickly, and your legs will start to feel lighter, stronger, and more energized. It's a fair trade, flavor and enjoyment, without sacrificing mobility or quality of life. Instant noodles. For people seeking convenience, instant noodles might seem like the perfect quick fix. In reality, they're mostly made from refined flour and chemical additives, offering very little nutritional value. The result is a calorie-heavy meal that's low in the fiber, protein, and micronutrients essential for preserving muscle mass. Over time, a diet built around foods like this can directly contribute to the weakening of your legs and a decline in mobility. One of the biggest downsides of instant noodles is their extremely high salt content. A single serving can contain more than half of your recommended daily sodium intake. Excess sodium encourages fluid retention, which can cause swelling and discomfort in the legs. It also raises blood pressure, restricting proper blood flow to the muscles. Poor circulation means your muscles receive less oxygen and fewer nutrients, leading to weaker tissue and slower recovery after activity. The seasoning packets that come with instant noodles pose another hidden problem. Packed with preservatives, artificial colors, and monosodium glutamate, these additives are often linked to chronic, low-grade inflammation. Even mild inflammation can impair joint function and speed up muscle breakdown. As a result, those who regularly consume these products may experience more frequent pain, stiffness, and limited range of motion in daily life. The impact on metabolism is equally concerning. With almost no fiber, instant noodles have a high glycemic index, causing sharp spikes in blood sugar levels. These fluctuations disrupt insulin activity, making it harder for your muscles to use energy efficiently. Without steady fuel, muscles weaken and tire more quickly. Poor dietary habits like this can turn even a simple walk to the grocery store into an exhausting challenge. Industrial cakes and biscuits. They may look innocent, wrapped in bright packaging and tasting like sweet nostalgia, but industrially produced cakes hide some of the most harmful threats to leg health as we age. Beneath the soft sponge and sugary icing lies a mix of processed sugars, hydrogenated omal, and synthetic preservatives that irritate the body and disrupt metabolism. Sugar alone interferes with insulin function and encourages fat storage, not only adding unwanted weight, but also creating the worst possible environment for maintaining muscle strength. One of the most dangerous components is the trans fats used to enhance flavor and extend shelf life. These fats lower good cholesterol while raising the bad, ultimately restricting blood flow. Poor circulation starves your leg muscles of the nutrients they need to stay strong, gradually leading to muscle loss, stiffness, and potential mobility issues. Eating these cakes regularly also fuels chronic inflammation, one of the leading hidden causes of muscle weakness and joint discomfort. Additives like emulsifiers, stabilizers, and artificial colors interfere with immune function and often trigger inflammatory responses that target the joints, particularly in the legs. The result? More pain, less movement, and a vicious cycle of inactivity that accelerates muscle decline. Despite their rich taste, these products are nutritionally empty. They're loaded with calories, yet lack the protein, calcium, and magnesium essential for muscle and bone health. Eating them frequently is like running an engine on dirty fuel. Your muscles are the motor, and they simply can't perform at their best. Instead, they respond with breakdowns, fatigue, and sluggishness. Convenience often tempts us into poor choices, but it doesn't have to be that way. Making cakes at home with whole grain flours, fresh fruits, and natural oils can be just as easy as buying a packaged one. The difference lies in how your body will thank you in the long run, with stronger muscles, better posture, and renewed energy. Ultra-processed cheeses. They may look harmless, melting smoothly on toast or stacked neatly in bright wrappers, but ultra-processed cheeses, like individually wrapped slices and processed spreads, carry hidden risks for anyone over 60 who wants to preserve leg strength. Packed with sodium and saturated fat, they attack the muscles and circulatory system in a double blow. Sodium promotes water retention and raises blood pressure, while saturated fat stiffens blood vessels, slowing circulation. The result? Legs that feel heavier, more swollen, and less energetic. On top of that, ultra-processed cheeses often contain preservatives and phosphates that disrupt the body's mineral balance. Calcium and magnesium, two minerals essential for muscle contraction and bone health, can be poorly absorbed when these additives are present. This leads to warning signs like muscle fatigue, joint discomfort, and even night cramps. And because the largest, most used muscles are in the legs, they're often the first to send up distress signals. Another problem is the lack of high-quality protein. Unlike artisan or minimally processed cheeses that maintain their nutritional integrity, these industrial versions go through processes that strip away nutrient density. You might be eating calories, but you're not getting the amino acids your body needs to maintain muscle mass. Over time, this can fuel muscle loss, one of the biggest drivers of functional decline and loss of independence in later years. If you've ever felt sluggish and weighed down after a meal high in processed foods, that's the demineralizing, inflammation-triggering effect in action. Long-term, the absence of essential nutrients leads to weaker bones and reduced muscle performance. Short walks demand more effort, and once easy steps can feel like obstacles. All of this can trace back to something as simple as the cheese you use on your sandwich. Swapping these products for fresher, less processed options like ricotta, cottage cheese, or even fresh goat cheese is an easy, effective way to protect your health. And stay tuned, the 2 worst vitamins for your legs are still to come. Industrial ice creams. On hot days, or as a dessert, industrially produced ice creams might be one of the most popular treats. But after the age of 60, they can be a major threat to leg health. Loaded with refined sugars and saturated fats, these products are calorie-dense and highly inflammatory. This kind of diet triggers rapid spikes in blood sugar, followed by sudden crashes, putting muscle energy stability at risk. Over time, this instability leaves your legs feeling weaker, heavier, and more prone to fatigue. Low-quality ice creams in particular often contain saturated fats that harm the cardiovascular system. They make it harder for oxygen-rich blood to reach the body's extremities, including the legs. The result? Numbness, tingling, and even frequent cramps. In the long run, this poor circulation leads to muscle weakness, reduced mobility, and a higher risk of falls. All the while, we think we're simply treating ourselves to something sweet. What's more, industrial ice creams are filled with artificial colorings, emulsifiers, and thickeners that worsen inflammation in the body. This silent inflammation is one of the root causes of joint and muscle tissue damage. Regular consumption encourages digestive and hormonal imbalances that directly interfere with the absorption of nutrients essential for muscle growth. Without those nutrients, the body cannot remain strong and stable over time. Another critical issue is the lack of real nutritional value. They are rich in empty calories, offering nothing to build muscle, repair tissues, or nourish joints. That means even while enjoying the taste, fatigue can persist and may even intensify. The impact on the legs is unmistakable. Less strength, more daily discomfort, and lower tolerance for physical activity. Every spoonful robs the body of a chance to rebuild itself. Milk chocolates. For many people, milk chocolate is a daily indulgence, but for those over 60, regular consumption can have a much greater impact on leg health than it first appears. High in sugar and saturated fats, these chocolates fuel inflammatory processes that directly affect joints and muscles. The combination of high glucose and unhealthy fats creates a metabolic overload that accelerates the loss of muscle strength. Another issue is the low cocoa content in milk chocolate, as the real antioxidants are found in pure cocoa. Most commercial varieties are highly processed and loaded with preservatives and artificial sweeteners. These chemicals don't just harm the liver and pancreas, they also interfere with the absorption of nutrients vital to muscle health. The result is tired legs that lack vitality and are more prone to pain and stiffness. The simple sugars in these chocolates are absorbed rapidly, triggering insulin spikes that rob muscles of steady energy. For people already struggling to maintain muscle mass, this fluctuation can be disastrous. Milk chocolate is also often linked to increased abdominal fat, which worsens pressure on the lower limbs. This constant overload promotes wear and tear in the knees, hips, and ankle joints. However, healthy alternatives can still make sweet moments possible. High cocoa chocolates, consumed in moderation, offer antioxidants and flavonoids that support circulation and muscle function. They can even benefit vascular health. As always, awareness and balance are key. The secret lies in both the choice and the portion size. Canned foods. While undeniably convenient, canned foods often hide a cocktail of ingredients that can seriously undermine leg health as we age. Many contain chemical preservatives like sodium benzoate and nitrites, along with added colorants, excess salt, and other synthetic additives. These substances are highly inflammatory, weakening both muscle and vascular health. When consumed regularly, they interfere with muscle repair and restrict oxygen delivery to the tissues, a recipe for chronic weakness. The high sodium content in canned products is another major concern. Excess salt encourages fluid retention, one of the main culprits behind that heavy, uncomfortable feeling in the legs. This retention not only causes pain, but can also point to poor circulation and tissue inflammation, issues particularly common after the age of 60, especially in those with hypertension. The added strain on the cardiovascular system limits the supply of vital nutrients to the muscles, accelerating fatigue and loss of strength. Equally troubling is the drop in nutritional value. Even canned meats and vegetables undergo processing that strips away much of their natural goodness. What's left is often low in vitamins and minerals, but high in compounds the body has to work hard to flush out. This constant metabolic burden drains energy and compromises muscle performance. In fact, your lingering fatigue and leg weakness may be linked to how often these foods end up on your plate. On top of that, trace amounts of aluminum from certain cans can accumulate in the body over time. Research suggests that regular exposure to such metals can impair nerve function and muscle coordination, raising the risk of falls, balance issues, and gradual muscle decline. Given the wide range of fresh or naturally preserved options available today, the trade-off simply isn't worth it. For anyone looking to maintain mobility and independence, steering clear of canned goods and choosing fresh, frozen, or naturally preserved alternatives is an important first step. Cooking with whole, additive-free ingredients offers almost immediate health benefits and helps protect both your strength and your quality of life for years to come. Filled cookies and processed snacks. For many people, snack time often means reaching for filled cookies or heavily processed packaged treats. But after the age of 60, these indulgences can speed up the loss of leg strength. Packed with artificial colors, flavor enhancers, preservatives, and stabilizers, they act like true aggressors against the body. They not only cause irritation at a cellular level, but also place extra stress on vital organs such as the liver and kidneys, directly interfering with the absorption and circulation of nutrients essential for muscle health. These products are typically low in minerals, protein, and fiber, while being high in empty calories. In other words, they deliver plenty of energy, but almost no nourishment. This is especially harmful for older adults, whose bodies can no longer store and use nutrients as efficiently as in youth. At this stage of life, the natural decline in muscle mass must be countered with a nutrient-rich, functional diet, not with sugar, hydrogenated fat, and salt-laden snacks that only accelerate the downturn. One of the biggest concerns is their trans fat content, a synthetic fat widely recognized as a major inflammation trigger in the modern diet. Beyond clogging arteries, trans fats also restrict the flow of oxygen and nutrient-rich blood to muscle tissues. Poor circulation to the leg muscles leads to discomfort, fatigue, and sometimes an unsteady, weakened feeling when walking. It happens gradually, but the erosion of stability is inevitable if these foods remain a regular habit. The excess sodium in these snacks also promotes fluid retention, worsening swelling in the lower limbs. Swollen legs are a clear warning sign. Combined with poor nutrition and impaired circulation, they create the perfect storm for varicose veins, chronic aches, and a heavy sensation when moving. And all of this can stem from something as seemingly harmless as a quick snack. On top of that, the high sugar load in filled cookies and processed treats causes sharp blood sugar spikes, followed by rapid crashes. This roller coaster leaves the body drained and triggers constant cravings, setting off a vicious cycle that saps muscle energy and encourages weight gain. The more you rely on these products, the harder it becomes to maintain strong, functional legs in everyday life. Replacing them with natural, minimally processed snack bars can break this cycle and dramatically shift your energy, stability, and long-term leg health. Monosodium glutamate, MSG, and processed foods. From instant seasoning blends and ready-to-cook noodles to bouillon cubes, packet soups, and countless frozen convenience meals, processed foods loaded with monosodium glutamate, MSG, are everywhere. This additive is designed to boost flavor, but its impact on the human body goes far beyond taste. For adults over 60, regular MSG intake can be particularly damaging to leg muscles. Monosodium influences key neurotransmitters that control muscle contractions through the nervous system. Those more sensitive to this chemical may experience muscle aches, headaches, tingling sensations, and persistent fatigue. When these effects target the legs, they can trigger heaviness, stiffness, and even mild tremors, symptoms linked to excessive excitotoxins, chemicals known to harm neurons. Over time, MSG also fuels chronic inflammation that affects joints, muscles, and blood vessels. This inflammation disrupts muscle performance and blood circulation in the extremities, leaving the legs poorly oxygenated and significantly increasing the risk of weakness, cramps, and reduced mobility. Many MSG-containing foods also pack high levels of sodium, which worsens fluid retention and leg swelling. On top of that, this additive interferes with energy metabolism, altering how muscles use glucose. This lowers the efficiency of converting energy into strength, making everyday movements, climbing stairs, walking short distances, feel more challenging. Left unchecked, this pattern can erode muscle mass over the years, eventually forcing a reliance on others for basic tasks. The catch is that most people don't even realize they're consuming MSG regularly. Food labels often disguise it under names like flavor enhancer, yeast extract, hydrolyzed protein, or other technical terms. That's why the goal should be to swap out ultra-processed foods and artificial seasonings in favor of natural flavor sources like fresh herbs, garlic, onion, lemon, and olive oil. Now, let's uncover the two vitamins that, when consumed in excess, can quietly undermine your leg strength. Excess vitamin A. Vitamin A plays a vital role in vision, immune defense, and skin health, but when taken in excessive amounts, especially through supplements, it can lead to serious drawbacks, including harm to leg muscles. After the age of 60, the body becomes less efficient at breaking down and clearing out surplus vitamin A, which raises the likelihood of it accumulating in the liver and joints. One of the most common signs of chronic vitamin A overload, known as hypervitaminosis A, is deep muscle discomfort, often felt in the legs and lower back, caused by inflammation in muscle tissues. This type of pain is sometimes mistaken for joint problems or spinal issues. Alongside discomfort, other warning signs include muscle weakness, difficulty climbing stairs, trouble walking longer distances, or stiffness when standing up after sitting for a while, all clear indicators of disrupted nutritional balance. Excess vitamin A can also interfere with the absorption of other essential minerals, including magnesium and calcium. Without these minerals, muscles struggle to contract and relax properly, setting the stage for leg fatigue, spasms, and cramping. In addition, stored vitamin A in the liver can disrupt the body's energy production process, further impairing muscle function. Over time, this combination contributes to a gradual decline in mobility and strength. Another hidden danger of too much vitamin A is bone demineralization, particularly in weight-bearing areas like the legs and hips. This weakens bones and increases the risk of fractures, especially for people already dealing with osteopenia or osteoporosis. For these reasons, vitamin A supplements should only be taken under medical guidance and always in carefully measured doses. One of the biggest causes of excess is self-medication. While vitamin A naturally occurs in foods like liver, egg yolks, whole milk, carrots, and pumpkin, a balanced diet usually provides more than enough, making supplementation unnecessary for most people. The real risk comes from overdoing it with fortified foods or high-dose supplements. That's why it's important to track total vitamin A intake from all sources, including multivitamins, to ensure it stays within safe limits. Excess vitamin D. Vitamin D is widely praised for supporting bone strength and immune function, and is often recommended for older adults. But few realize that too much of it, especially through high-dose supplementation, can trigger serious problems, including muscle and leg issues. The condition known as hypervitaminosis D usually develops when excessive amounts of the vitamin build up in the body over time. One of the earliest signs of this imbalance is muscle discomfort, often paired with weakness and reduced motor coordination. Unlike water-soluble vitamins, vitamin D is fat-soluble, meaning it gets stored in fatty tissues and is not easily flushed out. This can push blood calcium levels dangerously high, a condition called hypercalcemia, which may cause stiffness in the legs, muscle burning, cramps, joint soreness, and related symptoms. Hypercalcemia directly impacts muscles and nerves, disrupting the electrical signals that control movement. In addition, excess vitamin D can cause unnecessary calcification of soft tissues, such as muscles and tendons. This means areas like the knees, calves, and thighs may become stiffer, less flexible, and more uncomfortable during activity. What should be a protective nutrient can instead become a source of restriction and wear. Seniors who take large doses without medical supervision are especially vulnerable to these complications. Another serious risk is kidney strain. High doses of vitamin D can damage the kidneys, which play a key role in regulating mineral balance in the blood. Poor filtration and fluid retention worsen leg swelling, muscle discomfort, and overall weakness. This can create a damaging cycle. More vitamin D leads to higher calcium, reduced kidney function, and escalating muscle problems. That's why vitamin D supplementation should always be tailored based on lab results and professional guidance. Many people take large amounts on their own, believing it will only do good. But just like a deficiency, an excess can be harmful. And when it comes to your legs, it could mean losing strength, mobility, and independence. This channel is here to help you live healthier and improve your quality of life, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. That way, you won't miss our most valuable health videos. My goal is to help you feel and move better every day. Now the video playing on your screen reveals the 3 essential vitamins every dietetic should take. Click to watch, and I'll see you in the next one.